Hello beautiful people, it's Mai here from Nintendo Life, and today we're reviewing Mina the Hollower on the Nintendo Switch 2. This review was originally written by the wonderful Ken Talbot and made into a video by yours truly. Now, without further ado, let's get stuck in. Since its release in 2014, Shovel Knight has been a gift that keeps on giving. Groundbreaking for its hugely successful crowdfunding campaign, it also helped usher in a glorious era of throwback platforming gems like Sabotage Studios' The Messenger. Yacht Club Games has spent years expanding the Shovelverse while developing its next project in parallel. Now that follow-up is finally here, and with Mina the Hollower, the studio is moving beyond Mario-like platforming to explore the formative era of action RPGs. Blending the exploratory charm of The Legend of Zelda with European Gothic setting of Castlevania and adding subtle nods to numerous other titles, Yacht Club Games has delivered another finely polished gem that stands shoulder to shoulder with the classics it pays tribute to. Zelda is the key inspiration here though. The game takes its cues from Link to the Past and Link's Awakening, key maturation points for the series. The story follows Mina, an inventor and member of the Earth-studying guild known as the Hollowers, who is summoned to Tenebrow Isle to reactivate the spark generators, revolutionary power sources of her own design. At the request of her old friend Baron Lionel, she travels across the island to investigate why the generators are failing, repair them, and restore balance to the local communities. Along the way, you explore the regions around the capital, battle hordes of monsters, and repeatedly cross paths with Thorn, a mysterious rival. The main narrative is fairly straightforward, but it's fleshed out with side quests and smaller subplots, including Thorn's ongoing opposition to Mina's mission and lighter diversions such as helping two hunters take down a bunny-shaped monster. Tenebrow Isle is filled with stories both funny and sad. Building on the style of its previous title, the game sticks with 8-bit visuals, this time drawing inspiration from the Game Boy Color's palette. Jake Kaufman returns with another strong set of chiptune compositions, collaborating with the legendary composer Yuzo Koshiro of ActRaiser, Streets of Rage, to produce an infectious musical suite. Everything about Mina the Hollower oozes retro cool, demonstrating an expert command of style and genre conventions. Rather than feeling like a simple throwback, it's a focused, confident reinterpretation of classic action RPG execution. Tenebrow Isle is an intricately designed area to explore, with a central town hub that connects in all directions to mechanically distinct biomes that you must traverse to find and fix the spark generators. The looping layer design harks back to classic top-down and side-scrolling RPGs of yesteryear, recreating the kind of interconnected map that went on to inspire Hidetaka Miyazaki's From Software titles, which are heavily referenced throughout. You're free to venture out from the hub, tackling any of the 6 areas in whatever order you choose. Without a map to refer to, NPC dialogue, signage, and environmental clues are all you have to go on as you hunt down the next objective. The freedom to explore and the lack of handholding are hugely refreshing in this current era of quest markers and constant tutorial pop-ups. That said, it can be easy to get lost on this treacherous island, and for a while we found ourselves wandering back and forth between the hub and seemingly blocked paths. Later, after the game forced us to be more observant and realize that secrets and hidden paths appear on each screen, everything started to click in place. There's an extensive manual tucked away in the menus, but for the most part, Mina's journey is one of discovery. There's a heaving menagerie of deadly creatures, great and small, across the island, and you're given plenty of ways to dispatch them. Combat and movement both revolve heavily around manual jumping, which conjures fond memories of the Rock's Feather item in Link's Awakening. Mina can burrow underground, then burst up to launch herself up into the air. Mastering this ability is essential for progression, with jumping puzzles scattered throughout every area and a high number of aerial enemies to contend with. Health is managed by a potion system, the replenishment of which is tied directly to aggressive offense in combat. Spark charges add an extra layer of survivability, while bones are the game's primary upgrade resource. A surprisingly deep weapon system provides a wide arsenal of primary and secondary tools to experiment with. Each main weapon has a distinct feel and can be upgraded to unlock additional utility. The Night Star is a chain whip that will have you feeling like a Belmont, while the Black Striped Wall delivers slow but heavy-hitting attacks. Whisper and Vesper favour rapid dagger-based combat, the Battery Buster caters to projectile-focused playstyle, and the Guardian Casket supports defensive approaches. Sidearms add further variety, offering both offensive projectiles and defensive options that complement primary attacks. Mina can also equip trinkets that further customize and modify her overall playstyle. Speaking of modification, the game has an exhaustive menu of quality of life and difficulty options that let you tweak the entire experience to your liking. These mods build on the cheat code system in Shovel Knight and can be enabled at any time if you don't mind sacrificing the game's feat challenge system. Not very good at jumping? Give Mina a super jump. Looking to sprint through another playthrough? Double her walking speed. Maybe you're playing with a young adventurer and just want them to breeze through Tenebrau Isle with no resistance. There are plenty of options for casual players. The modifier menu is so jam-packed that it even includes a favoriting system. This can be a punishingly difficult game at times, with the boss battles in particular providing a serious challenge. So it's nice to see the developer cater to those who prefer an easier time at the cost of earning achievements. It's worth noting that there are modifiers to increase difficulty as well, so there are plenty of options for those who balk at easy modes. Mina the Hollower, like Shovel Knight before it, pays careful homage to a beloved genre and visual style, while also blending in modern design sensibilities. While the potential for future DLC that could bring players back to Tenebrau Isle is exciting, the base game already feels substantial, offering plenty to uncover across the main campaign. Reigniting all the spark generators took around 25 hours, and there's a wealth of post-game content as well as numerous weapon builds to experiment with. It also feels purpose-built for handheld play. The Game Boy Color-inspired visuals suit a smaller screen perfectly, and Jake Kaufman's soundtrack, best experienced through portable speakers, add even more character to the small screen experience. Performance is razor sharp in both modes, and offers a stability that's noticeable during visually busy boss battles and platforming puzzles. The original Switch targets 60 FPS, while Switch 2 has 120 FPS support and HDR settings for those that have the display to accommodate it. Yacht Club Games has successfully made the leap from Mario-inspired side-on platforming to Zelda-style adventure, delivering another retro-styled masterpiece. Mina the Hollower is an intricate, challenging, yet accessible adventure packed with content, set against a gorgeous 8-bit gothic backdrop. We here at Nintendo Life give Mina the Hollower Nintendo Switch 2 Edition a 9 out of 10. Now it's time for my thoughts. Now, I'm definitely going to be the first one to admit that Mina the Hollower is more than just challenging. And I know it's probably a bit of a skill set issue, but this game is hard. It's hard, man. I'm really, really happy that they did have an assist mode in this, because aside from helping the terrible players like me who can find these games a little bit challenging and kind of off-putting of how difficult they can be, the fact that there is a higher difficulty mode, my goodness, the crazy people who would do that, my hat's off to you. I'm really think this is a massive kudos to Yacht Club Games for including something like this, because it's often I've played a game or looked at a game that I really want to play, but then it has the reputation of being difficult, and it puts me off playing it, which is a shame, because myself as well as other people are missing out on some real bangers. But I tell you what, there's so many things about Mina the Hollower that really tick boxes for me. It definitely meets my nostalgia criteria, I tell you that. It's been a really, really long time since I last played a Game Boy style game outside of work, so being able to kind of dive into, or in this case, burrow into, Mina the Hollower has been an absolute treat for me. The music as well has really it's been a massive hype. There'd be moments where I'd be playing and I'd be wondering, oh, what's over there? Oh, fun music's playing. And then, oh, there's a boss fight. And suffices to say, I'm saying is the music really felt like a bit of a cheerleader for me, as kind of cheering me on, as if to say, come on, Mai, you can beat this boss, even though you don't think you can. And also, to continue with the nostalgia, I did play the game quite a lot handheld, which was really, really lovely. The music sounded perfect coming through the speakers on the Switch 2, and it just really held its own. There's been a lot of pixel art games that I'll play where I feel like if I'm playing it handheld, it just makes my eyes go a bit funny. But with Mina the Hollower, I could play it for ages and ages, which is always good in my book. Playing it docked, however, there wasn't a huge issue. I'd never use my Joy-Cons whenever I do anything docked, aside from maybe this time round where I was trying out the mouse mode. Yes, there's mouse mode, but really all it does is move Mina's head. I often play with my Pro Controller, but this time around, I decided to try and use a MOBA pad, which had a roller pad on it. And that really upped my game when it came to playing this game. I just found it a lot easier rather than using the analog sticks. However, there were points in the game where I would often get my buttons mixed up. Like, for example, with the burrowing button is also the button that you would use to heal. And if I didn't press it correctly or long enough, I would instead waste a potion rather than burrow to wherever I wanted to go. So that kind of frustrated me a lot. Frustration aside though, I am definitely going to use Mina the Hollower as my challenge Sunday game. I've briefly mentioned before that I spend Sundays disconnected and I focus on one game or two games, but it's basically just a game day. So I really feel like Mina the Hollower is going to be my disconnect from the world game, try and challenge myself and just get stuck in, you know? Let's just say that Mina the Hollower has sparked some motivation in me.